Come along with me this week as I show you how I'm going to refinish this dresser. This dresser is a really great size. It's kind of a in-between between a taller chest of drawers and a longer but shorter dresser. It still offers really good storage while being kind of a mix of those two styles. It is a more modern piece. It's not vintage, but it's still in really good shape. It's a quality build. And I'm going to be refinishing this one for my sister. So we get to play around with it a little bit and kind of see what she wants done in her space. I think she wants a mix of wood and paint. So I'm going to start by sanding and stripping down the drawer fronts and then the top and see what we're working with. It's really hard to tell what kind of wood, veneer, anything is underneath this old dated finish. And there are some scrapes and dents, so I'll have to see how those come out in the sanding process. Usually the first thing I do when I take the drawers out is label their positioning, but these ones are actually already labeled, which is really convenient. I also know they're not put in currently in their correct orientation. Whoever initially took it apart did not put them in back together properly. The top two drawers are velvet lined, which is really nice. The velvet's in great condition, so I'll just clean that up and I can line the rest of the drawers. And it looks like we have some treasures behind the dresser drawers. That's pretty common. Things get stuck and lost back there. Usually it's stuff that people forget about. I'm gonna do a paint wash initially on the top and drawer fronts. There are some areas of veneer that got damaged, was damaged previously, or is just so thin that had some areas come through and show through from the sanding process. I'm gonna do this paint wash, seal it, and then probably try to do some sort of glaze or stain over the top, again, to disguise some of those areas. And if I need to do some further color correcting, I can. I will start by spraying everything down with a light misting of water for the top of the dresser. This just helps to extend the working time of that paint wash. It can dry really quickly, especially on this raw wood, because it's raw, so it sucks that water up in that water-based paint wash really, really quickly, and it's a time-sensitive process. I'm now going to seal that paint wash surface with a water-based top coat in a satin sheen, and this is going to give me, it's going to seal the surface so that the stain that I apply over top is not going to be full power strength. It's going to be more of a glaze, and it'll still give some warmth, some color, and I can manipulate it a little bit easier, opposed to if I were to apply the stain over the unsealed surface. So this was an area of the dresser that was already damaged before I picked it up. You can tell the veneer is really, really thin right there. So I do have some correcting paints. These are specifically for furniture and wood in a variety of different shades. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of color correcting before I apply that glazed stain, just to see if I can minimize the look of this kind of almost bruised area going forward. I might need to lighten this even a little bit more. In the end, this dresser is going to have more of a rustic look anyway. So I think that usually is an easier type of piece to try to camouflage. And I can do more color correcting after I apply the glaze. I like to top coat at least one layer before trying to color correct, just because if something goes wrong and the color is really not working, I mix a wrong color, it's a lot easier to wipe away or remove. And this is going to take multiple layers. So I'm going to have to put this on, wait for it to dry, come back with another layer, something maybe with some different tones. Now that the top coat is all dry on these drawer fronts, I'm going to apply this stain, this water-based stain, as a glaze. I'm going to apply it pretty liberally, going in the same direction as the wood grain, and then I will wipe it back immediately. And this is just going to warm up the tone of the wood, as well as to give a little bit more definition to some of the grain pattern. It makes it pop a little bit more. This paint wash really does tend to neutralize the different colors and variations, and so this brings some of that back. I have applied a couple of coats of that paint in different colors to kind of mimic the wood grain, and I feathered them out that way past the point of damage. And I did top coat it. The top coat is still drying. You can kind of see the sheen on it where it's drying. And then once I put that glaze over the top, it's really going to further camouflage that area. It is the back corner, but this is just an example of a time that you can color correct an area that might be a problem area on a piece without having to resort to painting the whole thing. I'm actually going to tape off the edges before I start glazing the top. This just will allow me to focus going the one direction with the wood grain on the top without having these edges drying out on me. Making sure the top coat is completely dry, I can now tape off and put plastic on the top so that it stays protected while I'm spraying. Probably not a lot of people know, some of these painting tapes are actually water activated. So if you take a cloth or a paper towel and you just moisten it, wring it out really well, and you run it along that edge that you want a nice crisp line on, it will actually seal it in a lot better than if you had not done this. So I got a color matched color. This dresser, like I said before, is for my sister. And this was a color that she had on another piece that she wanted to match. So this is a color matched piece. It doesn't have a name that I can provide from Benjamin Moore, but it's a really, really pretty off-white with some warm, almost pinkish undertones. I think it's really pretty and will complement that wood grain really, really nicely. All the drawers will get a really good vacuuming, and I will also clean all of the sides, the insides, the outsides, and I will also wax the bottom of the drawer tracks. They are wooden drawer tracks, and I find that the wooden drawer tracks really do get a lot of benefit from getting a little bit of wood wax. It just rehydrates them and everything slides a lot smoother. And I do have some wallpaper. I am going to line the drawers that are not lined in velvet already, and I will go ahead and add that little pop inside. All these drawers are really, really clean. It just will help to protect the drawer bottoms throughout the years, throughout the decades, and I mean, it's just fun. I really enjoy doing that part. I'm really, really pleased with how this one came out. It's always a question, no matter what piece of furniture I work on, what can be accomplished, what can be left wood grain, what pieces might be better to be painted. I'm happy that we were able to keep as much wood grain as possible. I know that that's what my sister was after. She wanted a really 50-50 wood grain to painted look, and I think this is going to be such a nice addition to their room. I always get so excited when I get to do a piece for friends or family because I get to see what it looks like in their space and see how it progresses with their style over the years to come. And this piece has a lot of life left to it. If you remember, it was that dated, very red, orange toned finish. It had some dents, it had some dings, but all of that was really able to come out, and I think that this is a really nice modern piece, and I'm excited for her to be able to use it.